go to a polling question. I wanted to get a sense today of how many of you are using Rich E-commerce on your site today. So in just 1 second, you'll see a polling question pop up on your screen. Perfect. And if you could just take a second and answer. We'll just wait 1 second until everyone gets a chance to vote. Okay, so we're seeing a fairly strong contingent of folks here on no. So this is a new topic for many of the folks on the line today. So that's great that you're getting a quick snapshot here, and be sure to if you have questions at the end to just make note during the session, and we can go into a little more detail for you if you'd like anything gone into a little more depth. So now we're going to get into the why Rich E-commerce. So this is some of the information that may be beneficial for you if you're looking at building a business case for Rich E-commerce, some stats on what the state of the market is, some stats on the industry, and some information about what other retailers are doing. The first thing we'll look at is just a quick overview on how RIAs can enhance the e-commerce experience. When I say RIA, it's Rich Internet Applications, and the role that they have in creating a really unique experience. So the one thing that I will say is that Rich Internet Applications are designed to change the way that a client interacts with a retailer. So they're designed to provide that immersive and really unique shopping experience. So just as you would go into a store and you would go in and choose an item and interact with a salesperson and perhaps try an item on or make a detailed analysis of a specific item, that same experience is happening online. So you're having that same ability to go to that depth and have that continuous shopping experience on the web. And they provide the ability to really deliver a lot of contextual information about the items. So being able to see 3D views of items, to be able to get into detailed technical specs, to compare products, those types of things. So the choice of products is much easier with a Rich Internet Application. They also provide guidance to visually guide the user from one step to the next. I know in the early days of HTML, a lot of organizations tried to implement wizards that would help clients shop, and they would say, these 4 easy steps you're able to find and purchase items. But what's challenging about that is that there's no flexibility for the user, in that the user can't say, oh, I actually want to change something back in step 2. Well, they need to restart the entire wizard and go through steps 1 through 5 again in order to get some modification made. So being able to use a site that provides that ability to guide, but without requiring the user to get into a specific formula. They allow for partial page updates, like we were saying, so it kind of breaks the page-by-page model. So they provide a lot of things to the e-commerce experience, and a lot of ability to adjust search criteria on the fly and update search results in real time. So in terms of what this means for retailers and what retailers are investing in related to Rich E-commerce, we can see this is a report from shop.org on the state of online retailing. We can see that in the next 12 months, 88% of retailers plan to focus on improving content for product detail pages. What's really key here is that clients very clearly are telling retailers, we need more information about the products we're buying online. And in terms of more information, it's not just more text data, it's also more images and a greater ability to interact with those products. So between these two figures, you'll see that there's a key focus on getting more information about what products are being purchased, about the products that clients are purchasing, getting more information around those products online. And the other element that's really key is enhancing the guest checkout process. As we saw earlier, that maybe 4 or 5 screens are required in order to check out, and then to get things into the shopping cart, it's another 5, 6, 7, 8 clicks. That process is a very long one, and it's something that's very challenging for retailers to streamline. But this is where a lot of retailers, over half, are investing in their activities. And if we look overall at the general categories, the key focuses that retailers are going to be focusing on are customer acquisition, 51% of all marketing dollars are going into this area. So getting customers attracted to your site, offering something unique, and getting them into the shopping process is really a key focus for retailers in the coming year. The other element is multi-channel marketing. We're going to see some examples of this later on in the presentation of companies that are expanding beyond their website in order to create a true multi-channel experience for their clients. But what's interesting here is about 43% of catalog customers have also purchased from an online store. So there is a very strong connect between maybe paper-based or electronic catalogs that you have and your e-commerce site. So those are things that retailers are investing in. And improving customer service. There's a strong push to really make the online channel as support it from a customer service perspective as the offline channel. So over a third of companies are spending more money on chat and other things to involve clients further up in the shopping process. So these are numbers from shop.org. If we look at broad industry trends that are really driving e-commerce, what's interesting here is that this is a report from eMarketer.com. If we look at what's happened in the last 5-6 years in e-commerce, we can see that the retail e-commerce sector was growing by leaps and bounds, like 35% growth in 1 year, well, in the first half of 1 year for sure. And what's happening is that growth is slowing down. So if we look at 35% in 2001 down to 24% in 2006, it's starting to drop and to level off a bit. I mean, if we look at the progression of e-commerce as a whole, what's happened is it's moved from that niche audience of people buying computer parts online, and it's really become a true shopping channel. And more items are available and more retailers are making available online stores. So it's changing the way that e-commerce is operating. If we also look at the trends and the future predictions, that growth is going to slow down significantly. In 2007, there was about a 16% growth in e-commerce. That's going to slide in the next 3 years to 8%. So nearly 50% decrease in the growth. So what does that mean for retailers? That means that retailers need to be more competitive and they need to be able to offer something unique. That market growth is one of the key reasons that now is why you should be looking at rich e-commerce. Another key reason is bandwidth. This has been a comment that many retailers have said for years, is that I need to be able to deliver something that my clients are going to be able to access. So today, bandwidth there's about 115 million households in North America that are running with broadband, and the speeds of that broadband connection are very, very high. So that's simply not a concern these days. The number of online shoppers is looking to peak at about 156 million in the next 5 years. So that again makes a very much more competitive market, and it means that retailers need to gain their own piece of the pie and to be able to be competitive. The other factor that's really guiding the why now question is that the technology limitations are disappearing. So for years, retailers were having challenges in bringing out really innovative sites because the technology they had available to them on the back end wasn't there. Now the tools and the technology are there. They're very inexpensive to get going. There are solutions that are open source or solutions that are software as a service that really help users to be able to catapult their solutions into the next generation. As well, the technology that users are accessing the sites with are really much more advanced than they were years ago. Credible data is another key element in that business intelligence is at the foundation of any smart retailer strategy. So they understand their clients and how they shop, and they're able to look at what specific elements of e-commerce that they can invest in that are really going to have the biggest bang for the buck. So being able to have this credible market data and consumer behavior data is key. And finally, in the why now question, sorry, I've got a bit of a challenge here on the mouse side. Sorry, in the why now question, client expectations. That's the absolute number one reason why now is the right time to be looking at this, because client expectations are at an all-time high. In fact, just yesterday I saw a report come out from Allurent that was mentioning that nearly 70% of clients have much greater expectations from their online shopping experience than they did a year ago. So it's definitely something that is key. So if we look at, we looked at why now, so let's look at some of the e-commerce tasks that clients are looking um, to complete, and then we'll look at mapping those tasks to some of the sites out there today and how they handle that. So the first task is in finding a product, and when you come onto a site, you're either going to search or browse to find a product. After that, you're going to look perhaps to customize that product, change something about it, or choose multiple products that work together as a package or a module. Then you may be looking at researching those products further to learn more about them, comparing products to be able to see what options are out there and which ones best fit your needs, adding a product to a shopping cart, and then checking out. So we're going to look